So to you guys, if a man is not in a woman's life, it's because of alienation.
Within this new generation, I'm saying I don't know what happened in the past, but if it was similar to what happened in the incidents that I seen in the new generation, and don't get me wrong, I don't think you should ever stop fighting for your kids, right? Whatever she doing, you got to try and figure out a way, because it's not about you and your comfort. It's about making sure you have your kids in their life. But the stories I hear be true life horror stories, which is why I always push back to, bro, you can't be hitting these random chicks raw, and you should only reward women with relationships who actually earned it, who you feel you would go along with what you want. And you need to really vet seriously, like asking all type of crazy questions to try and figure out, is there something hiding down there? Like you have to just keep checking, because you you really don't know somebody until you're not looking at them, right? But you can get inclinations on who they are based on how they respond to certain stimulus or stimuli, right? Especially when it's things that don't uh that aren't directly reflective of you and them. Is they fighting with their cousin all the time, right? Is when they get mad enough at the gas. Like I seen the video of this lady, she jumped out the car and was cursing out the car behind her because they got almost got in an accident. And it was men in the chat like, see, that's the type of woman I need. That's the type of woman I want. She gonna stand up for the family. You don't realize that that type of energy is going to be redirected at you the moment you're the person that she's upset with, and it's going to put you right back in that dynamic. You have to be very cognizant of those personality traits, right? So
So I think the other thing too is that, like, when a man is a deadbeat father and opts out, like he's the one who disappears, that's a very different problem, right? He's reprimanded socially. Typically the only friends and relationships he has with other men are men who think and move similar to him. He's typically ostracized from the community. He might get a woman, but she typically is not a very high caliber woman. Like, there are repercussions to that. Unfortunately, there really aren't too many repercussions for women who have a father of their child who wants to be active and they're preventing that relationship, right? It's one of those things where nobody understands, like, why are you doing this? It's incredibly selfish, and it's really detrimental to the community in general. So now you're raising children who have daddy issues or mommy issues or both, who are going to replicate the same things over and over because they haven't had functional relationships. Typically, those people are in a tight knit community with each other, supporting each other, cheering each other on. It's a preventable issue. The moment these women get over their egos, and I think that's why there's such a focus on it, we could fix this. The moment there are consequences for women who move like that, women will stop doing that. And I think that's why it's such a popular topic of conversation.
I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah.
So we are here in agreement to say that most men who are not in their kids' lives is because the woman is keeping them from there.
No, I don't agree. I wanted to go back to the stats in the video. You can't always quantify a lot of stats because even though it may be a fact, we have to realize that majority of the facts that we quote is a very finite sample size. It might be 200 in the sample study. It might be 2,000. It might be 100,000. It might come from the census. So the information can kind of like help give an idea, right? But I think that what is valid about what the man is saying, you can't just blame women blindly and say they're single mothers are the reason why these kids are jacked up. But on the flip side, if you're a single parent of any stature, everybody knows how hard it is to raise a child with two people. So how much harder is it to raise a child with one person? So if you got one person doing the job of two people, then more than likely what's going to happen is that more than likely what's going to happen is that a lot of the things that you're trying to accomplish is not going to be as effective because you have to do the job of two people by yourself. You can't be in two places at one time. You got to go to work. That child got to go someplace else. and then somebody else is going to be influencing your child more so than you because you got other stuff to do so that this child can have a life. So I would say it's not impossible. It's not fair, or it doesn't make sense to blame women entirely. But do have to understand that, like, you have to be able to realize that it's not easy raising kids, regardless. And if you ain't got a good community or nothing, or you ain't got no family or village or anything like that, the outcome of that kid is going to be severely uh low. You're not going to have good outcomes when you have nothing around this child and it's just up to you.
Are you saying that the larger the family is, the better the outcomes for the child are?
Oh God. Oh.
It depends
Oh.
on what type of family. Because if you got a whole family of alcoholics, I don't think that benefits the family.
Oh, come on, HD. Come on.
I'm just saying, But if you
Come
got
on.
some reasonable people, they work together and they are respectable and they can teach you how to be humble. They can teach you work ethic. They can show you things that are viable for your entire life. I think that environment and that family would be good. But if you got a bunch of crack addicts, pimps and hoes, and you know what I'm saying, you got all that going on, I mean, you can rise above and be like, I don't want that. But what's the likelihood?
That's fair.
I know a few people that were raised by pimps and hoes, which is weird.
Mike coming in
Look,
with the
Sugar
good
Mike.
Mike. Pimps and hoes taking over the world.
Did you have anything you want to add, Mike?
What are you on? What topic are you on currently?
Just the first video. If you didn't see it, it's pretty lengthy.
Is it
and
the
was-
one that I uploaded?
Yes, it is. Did you watch it?
Oh, I saw that days ago.
Okay. What are your thoughts?
What are my thoughts? Damn. Well, that was a long video. So I was actually in a Facebook argument circle about that particular clip. It was in a Black Fathers group. Had the group in a frenzy, as you could think, and I had to come through, as I do, and kind of try to add some logic to it, because one of the things that stood out to me right away is that this man is white, and he made note that the family law practices and people that advocate for fathers all use those stats. They all do. But those are white men and people and those attorneys. But he was only criticizing the Black content creators. I thought that was very interesting.
Oh, when he put the videos up at the beginning.
Every single person.
Well, no, it was one white guy. It was one white guy.
Yeah. But it was Black content creators. And I said, oh, so he thought he debunked something. I would love to debate him one day on this, because what he did that was also interesting is that he gave you all the stats in the beginning only to give you his opinion and interpretation at the end. He could, like, people who like weren't really, let's say single moms will probably listen to that like, yeah. But it's like, yo, y'all didn't realize that he just gave you his own opinion and interpretation of what those numbers actually mean. And I guarantee you, anybody that was excited about it didn't go and fact check what he said. So here's the what I have issue with what he said. He basically took the fact that it's 70 to 80%, right? And what those other content creators are talking about, if you go look it up, is the Black community. Many of them generalized, and many of them did not say that. That stat is not only easily researchable, it's easily relatable to other statistics. 70% of Black people alive, I think, were raised primarily by a single mother in the house. So I think he said something like it's almost equal the number of kids in jail from juveniles in jail from two-parent households that are from single-parent households. But how could that be in the Black community when we don't have enough two-parent households? So I was just picking apart his argument one by one, and I thought it was a good way for maybe him to get some followers, get some notoriety. But I think he's one of those people, what do y'all call them, grifters, that's using the state of the Black community and how much women and single mothers specifically just cannot stand that rhetoric about themselves to gain himself some, notoriety and fame. Because